How lovely it is to be here this morning. And the one of the really major things that I love about us meeting every day like we do is how apparent the seasons are to us, because of the light, for no other reason, just for the light. And I know, summer's a popular month, popular season, but there's definitely a tinge of autumn coming now because the light isn't quite so bright in the mornings, and there are brown leaves on trees coming, and there's this I find it such a comfort, this sense of the turning of the seasons. It's just never ending. So I don't know why I brought all that up this morning, but I just was feeling it when the alarm clock went off and it's not quite as bright as it has been. And I went to the bathroom and I had to put a light on, and I just thought, here we go, we're transitioning again. So the meeting each day provides a constant on the backdrop of this shifting, circular, cyclical, tidal current of seasons and time and cosmos. And for me, that brings great comfort. So let's start by sitting comfortably. Let's bring hands to knees. And feel the sitting bones pressing against the floor. And of course, it's cyclical as well as the fact that the earth itself is turning. It's all turning. We've got a new moon today. So there's Yoga Nidra tonight. And naturally, that brings us into a place of reflection and quiet and stillness. Not always, but usually a new moon. It's a new beginning, a time to reflect on intentions and where this journey, this life is taking us. So breathing in and out through your nose. Our theme this month has been connect. We're in the final days of that theme. Can you get a sense of the weight of your pelvis resting on top of the earth? Can you get a sense of the soil, the rock, the fire beneath us? I mean, it's not just a theory, is it? We know that that's true. That's what we're sitting on. This spinning rock filled with fire. And then there's you sitting on it. And we bring these practices in to give us a sense of stillness, but of course there's nothing still about any of it. Can we find space between the vertebrae and openness around the occiput ridge, the back of the head? And can we take the time this morning to explore the inner realms of the body, to meet resistance with the gentle light of your awareness? So we're not pushing through, pushing hard against anything. We're just observing. And let's bring hands to heart. We're doing a twist practice. And we're going to stay in that curious space of exploration. So let's start to twist to face the right. Keeping the hands at the heart. So the thumbs are lined up with the heart. And we'll just twist and see where we go to without forcing anything. And then come back to center. I've got my eyelids down. I often do. It helps me to go inwards. You can do as feels right for you. Slowly twisting to the left. And then back to center. And again, one time each side. Just twisting through the strength of the core rather than using the arms. And then dropping the hands down so the left hand comes across to the right knee. The right hand goes behind. Don't twist yet, just get the arms in place. And then let the gaze lead you, whether that's beneath your closed eyes or with open eyes. Your gaze is going to lead you. And then eventually, when you're looking over across the right shoulder, keep the height in the spine. Try not to sink as you slowly start to rotate. Nothing's forced. But we find this place, this wall of resistance when you kind of reach your edge. Notice where you feel that. Notice the texture. So you're really fully in the experience of this twist. And there's this tidal current of your breath happening. You be there with that. And then maybe start to use the arms, the hands, to twist a little bit more. Be sure to get height. The pressing down of the hands gives you more height in the spine usually. Rib cage can lift a little. And then without releasing the arms completely, just gently start to lighten their impact. And then you'll feel the place where you're starting to uncurl, unwind yourself back. And your hands will want to release. And you'll come back to center. And we'll do the same the other way. There's no rush. Every moment of the journey is of interest. So first the eyes lead us. Noticing for yourself, because we're each so individual, what's going on in our interior landscape. Notice for yourself where the resistance is. We're not pushing against it, we're just bringing awareness to it. And there'll be a natural place where you want to take the arms across. No yanking. It's not like there's a version of this twist that is the definition of a twist. It's all a twist. All valid, no hierarchy in this movement. Keep the height coming through from the hands pressing down, the sitting bones pressing down. And feel the impact of the tidal current of your breath. Noticing the edge, bringing your awareness there. Seeing what happens. And then taking the focus away from the hands, allowing the body to do its natural corkscrewing back. And coming back to center, and we'll circle our head. And then switching direction. And circling the shoulders. Maybe the elbows. Maybe the arms if you have the space. And then with your hands resting on your knees, some very slow and conscious circles with the heart. Opportunity to feel each part of it. And then switching directions. Making your way back to center. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Wrapping your hands around your toes, knees dropping out to the side. Rocking a little bit from side to side. And then maybe bouncing the knees. This is a great pose for me if I'm curious about meeting my resistance. Those inner thigh muscles are so tight. Hips are so tender. Just bringing awareness into those areas that feel like they have an edge. Breathing and kind of dissolving. And then let the feet come forward so you're creating a diamond shape. The soles of the feet remain together. Hands on knees. Inhale as you sit up, and as you exhale, let the hands move down towards the feet. Chin towards the chest. And then inhale as you come up, and we'll straighten the legs. I come to the side. So it can be really nice to have something just propping up the sitting bones, especially 6:30 in the morning. And things tend to be a little bit clunkier. And let's move our heels in a little closer so the knees are soft. Inhale as you reach your arms up. And as you exhale, lean forwards. And you might bring your hands to your feet. And if your feet are slightly apart, you can kind of come down between your thigh bones. And you might even just rest your armpits on your knees. And then depending on how your body is feeling today, and there's absolutely no glorification in forcing yourself into a shape that you think you should be making. This probably is offering quite a lot of resistance, a lot of awareness where you can feel it. I can feel my right hand side lower back is tweaking. There's a pinching happening. So I'm really aware of that, bringing my awareness there, taking my breath there. You might have a different part of your body responding, but if it feels like a good idea, you can start to walk your feet forwards or walk your sitting bones back. But try to keep this connection between your armpits and your knees. It's a long way from a forward fold, usually. And drop your chin towards your chest. And take some breaths. See if you can come into the place of melting rather than battling. You might notice things change when you engage Mula Bandha. And we're not in a rush to get to the next pose because we want the process to unfold of actually being here, embodied, aware, present. And then releasing the hands and coming back up. And we'll take the left leg straight. Bring the right knee in. And just hugging that right leg, sitting up nice and tall. The left leg's still strong, so you're pressing out through the heel, the toes are pointing up. And then gently taking your right hand behind you and letting your left hand become the softest kind of lever to help you rotate here. So you're moving in a way that is exploring your relationship with resistance. Rather than trying to dominate and ignore resistance or push through, we're really using it as an experience that is helpful. We're staying curious around it, breathing into it. And staying with it instead of turning away. Returning back to center. We can take that foot across. Still the left leg is strong. You're pressing down through the right foot, holding onto the right knee with the right arm. Inhale as you take the left arm up, sitting up nice and tall, and then exhale, take the elbow across. I'm actually not going to because of my poorly elbow. But if you can, you're going to come the whole way across. Otherwise, just hug the knee again like we did the last time. Uncovering what you find with the movement and the breath, and then coming back to center. And we'll just stack the knees on top of one another. So the right heel is traveling back towards the left sitting bone. Knees are directly above one another. The left leg is strong, still the toes point up. Hands come down either side of your legs. Inhale as you sit up and exhale as you walk your hands forwards. Chin can come to chest. Breath is deep through the nose. And I find having the hands on the ground like this gives me this sort of framework that I can rock in. So it opens up a little bit of space for the wriggle, the flow. And the shape is offering up, for me anyway, plenty of resistance to be aware of, to stay with, to breathe into, to listen to. We're not rushing into the next thing. We're happy to stay and experience what is. And then coming gently back up. Both legs straight out. And bringing your hands either side of your sitting bones, roll the shoulders away from your ears, sit up nice and tall, pressing out through the heels, toes pointing up rather. Breathing here. This Tadasana or staff pose is all about Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor. It's an opportunity to come back to the midline. Nothing's twisting. Can you find that plumb line within yourself? The center. And then bend the left knee, bring the heel in, hugging the knee in towards you. And just hugging that knee with the right arm. Take the left arm behind. Allow the left hand to give you that extra height as it presses down and rotate. And then soften and return. Take the foot across. So this left foot is pressing down. That's part of the pose. You'll notice there's a difference if you just let that leg be inconsequentially hanging out there, or if you press down. Inhale, reach the right arm up. And as you exhale, either taking the elbow across or just hugging the knee and allowing the left hand to come behind again as you rotate. Can you meet what you find with awareness, with breath? It's not unusual for the shoulders to start to kick in here, so just be sure that they're melting away from the ears. The neck is easy and free. Is there a process happening with each breath? So you spend some time here in this shape. Can you identify the journey that's happening inside of you? with this shape. And slowly releasing. And we'll stack the knees one on top of the other. The left heel makes its way back towards the right sitting bone. Toes pointing upwards, pressing out through the heel, hands either side of your legs. Inhale as you sit up tall. Actually feels like that might be enough for me today, or this morning anyway. Or maybe you want to walk your hands forwards into a forward fold. Listening carefully. Love the word careful. Full of care. What a lovely thing to be. Full of care. And inhaling as you come back up. We'll release that leg. And let's come and lie down on our backs. Knees bent. Drop the knees in together. Walk the feet apart. And take a moment to let all the bones, the connective tissue, and everything else settle. I quite like having my hands on my body, but you might prefer to have your hands on the floor. We're just slowly going to drop knees over to the right. They move just like a windscreen wiper. Inhale back up to center. With exhaling, knees over to the left. Gazing to the right. We'll spend a bit of time doing that. Making your way to center. Walk your feet towards one another. We'll just gently come to our sides. You might use one of your arms as a pillow. And then making your way back up to center. Close our practice with a namaste. Namaste.